All right, we are in the third episode, getting caught up with SEC baseball stars talking Survivor. We started doing one first thing this morning, and here we are doing one at the end of the night. I mean, who better than to have QB1 Drew Beam? How you doing tonight?
Great, man. Appreciate you having me back.
Absolutely, man. It wasn't planned to talk about, but since it's what you've been doing, been out hunting, it's one thing we talk about you play Fortnite, right? But you're a real life hunter. You ain't out just dropping bodies on video games. You out there, taking out coyotes and all sorts of stuff. Is there anything you don't hunt?
Doing my best, but no, pretty much if it walks, I don't care to kill it. So uh, there's some things I haven't ventured into, some scary things like bears and stuff, but maybe we'll get into them one day.
Well, I know I'm gonna come hang out with guys like you if the zombie apocalypse ever happens, because y'all ain't afraid to take down nothing.
Nah, we'll be all squared away and set.
No doubt. So, man, let's talk about this past weekend. Obviously, tough to take a loss, and the splits on SEC baseball the last 3 years since I've been doing this are wild. The home and away, you're not new to it. You know it from last year and the year before. Something that obviously you guys would like to change, all teams would like to change, but nonetheless, y'all are heading back home. But a tough Alabama series, but you really showed, your ability to overcome adversity. You know, you have a tough beginning, but you go the whole game, man. What was that talk like where the decision was made, hey man, I'm just gonna keep pushing through this thing because I got it under control now.
Yeah, it's tough to play on the road. Everybody will say that. Everyone will vouch for that. So, especially in the SEC, it's hard to play. Everybody's good here. So, yeah, had a rough start to begin that game, and just kind of had to keep pushing. I mean, uh, we played really well Friday night, and then we were going into Saturday, and I give up those six in the first 3 innings. I think kind of what flipped the switch. I think I got hit in the third inning by a line drive, and it kind of pissed me off, and so that kind of flipped the switch, put it into a little overdrive. But then I was all same part. I was like, I've already given up 6 runs, but let's try to fix this and make the best of what it's become so far. So I tried to really just put my team into the best spot so that we could compete the rest of the weekend, and just kind of went with that. Kind of changed up the game plan a little bit, pitch calling wise, and went after it a little differently the second half of that game, and it turned out a little better.
Yeah, no, man. It makes your coach's job easier when deciding, I don't have to go to the bullpen and figure things out. And, if you ask any of the position players on your team, as I've seen a lot of them, talk about, they were given an opportunity because of what you did. It's one of those things that goes on the radar. When you lose by one run, they had opportunities to get that lead back. Unfortunately, weren't able to capitalize, but you continuing to push. And so, yeah, it was big. And so from a survivor standpoint, I know that you don't read what these people on Twitter say, but it's wild because we've gotten a lot of people into the game, and a lot of people didn't understand how you won immunity. Said he should, be going home. He gave up 6 runs, and said find how many guys have won a complete game this year and come back and talk to us. We made that one of the ways to earn immunity for a reason. It's done very rarely. As a matter of fact, you're the only SEC pitcher that I know that's done it this year. So, um, you're one of my 4 guys remaining, and all 4 of y'all, I got Burke too. All 4 of y'all have acquired immunity, which makes me feel strong that I'll have one of my guys win when this thing's over. But it's really a cool competition, Drew, because it's 32. We don't have any scrubs on and off the bench. It's 32 elite, college baseball players, mostly from the SEC, outside, some of the weight guys and whatnot. And at the end of the day, someone good is going home. It was the weight guys. It was actually Nick Kurtz by injury, and then Seaver King, who didn't even have a bad week. But you're one of 4 pitchers of the 14 players. And I'll be honest, when Daniel made these rules, it's kind of stacked against the pitchers. So y'all are up against it, but you're the only one that has immunity. So, talk to me about it. Like, I talk to Ethan Petrie all the time. I talk to Charlie Kahn, and they want to win this. There's a prize pool, but it's really about, beating your peers in something. Like, talk about just the bragging rights that you'd have. The guys we have. I mean, you got teammates, you got Burke and Amick left in this thing, about being able to beat 31 guys and hold that trophy, even though it's not a national championship trophy. It's not a most outstanding player trophy, but It's bragging rights.
Yeah, there's always stuff in our sport, especially just within, especially your friends and stuff on other teams and guys that you know. Bragging's a big thing, and just being able to have those rights and being able to say that you did something a little bit better, won a certain award, or won little competitions and stuff over guys is a lot of fun. So it's just the little games inside of the game that just keep making each week fun, more fun and fun.
Yeah,
It's
no
just
doubt. I mean, we love rooting for you guys anyway, but like I said, you being on my team, it gives me that much more. But let's talk about this weekend before I cut you loose. Like I said, you're coming back home, and Billy wasn't aware of this. I educated him earlier. I was at that series 2 years ago, in Oxford. They throw the golf ball out. They think it's all funny. They're the number one ranked team, and then y'all took them to the woodshed. And if you look football, you look in baseball, there's been kind of a little testy rivalry that's brewing between Ole Miss and Tennessee, and they're really feeling themselves, rightfully so, man. Obviously they took care of South Carolina in Oxford. And how excited are you to have those guys coming into town? Obviously, it's going to be a packed Lindsey Nelson. It doesn't matter if the weather is cold. We know what it's going to be like. We know how the faithful are. But having them come to town and have a chance to bounce back and get everything back right.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. We didn't get to play them last year. Correct. Yeah, we didn't play them last year. So I haven't seen them in 2 years. They played a really good series against South Carolina. Played very well. So it'll be exciting. Exciting to be in a home SEC atmosphere in the new stadium. So get the first taste of that a little bit there. And yeah, just be good to kind of bounce back and see how this team handles a little adversity here early and see kind of about what we're made of.
Yeah, the veteran guys on your team, and then obviously, how I feel about Tony V. I told, but that's why I didn't drop y'all far in the rankings. I was like, I'm not worried about Tennessee at all. I think you have the best batting lineup behind you. Obviously, like I said, some situations where it could have came up big and they didn't. I don't see that being something that happens. You got guys who 1 through 9 can all swing it. And so I feel pretty confident, and we were talking about that with Billy earlier. So I'm not worried about that at all. And I'll tell you this from a pitching standpoint, give you a scouting because you didn't face them last year. You wouldn't know any of these guys anyway because all their top players, because I live down the street from Oxford. I watch them all. They're all transfers in anyway. The guys that you got to look out for, Ethan Leger, Andrew Fisher, you wouldn't have seen any of them. All their best players are transfers in. So man, it wouldn't matter. It's gonna be a new battle for you. I look forward to it. And man, I know you, and I know how you can bounce back. I know how Tennessee bounces back, and as much as I have a relationship with them Ole Miss guys, I never pick with my heart. I pick with my head, and I have no reason to believe that Tennessee doesn't bounce back, take this series. So wish y'all nothing but the best of luck, and looking forward to you shoving, and hopefully, man, another smooth week, and you get down to the final 12 of Survivor.
That's the goal. That's the goal for sure. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, don't kill anything you shouldn't.
Oh no, by the book always.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Absolutely. You too.